I'm Kevin Leung from season 48. I hurt my shoulder, and this is Making the Merge podcast.
We can very well win this thing.
I'm a dog person now.
Line them up, let's knock them down.
If you told me your dog was sick, I'd say, I'm coming over.
I cracked open a coconut and they didn't cheer for me.
You're either in a survivor or you're not.
Big mistake.
It's not about the $1 million. All I want to do is win 1 million hearts.
Guys, we had back-to-back banger intros. The first week, Mary. Second week, Kevin.
Whoa, guys, how'd you do that? I didn't know about this.
I didn't either.
Guys, it was timely. It was time, and now I'm concerned. Now I'm concerned that I have the power. If I purchase something from Cameo from you, you're going to be gone within the week.
No, that's crazy. You got Kevin on the week he goes home. Spoilers.
So Bran texted me about that last week, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then it turns out Bran just has incredible foresight.
Yes.
Dang, dude.
Too good even.
That leads me, I know we usually do something else to start off this show. That leads me immediately into a question for you, Bran.
Okay.
Did you, like me, heavily consider drafting Kevin on your team?
Yeah, of course I did.
I did too. Dude, I was going to take Kevin number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
I was too.
We really thought so.
Really? We'll get into all of this in our draft episode, which will be in a few days. So if you're listening to this when this is the recap of episode 2 of Survivor 48, our draft show where we're going to be drafting all of our players for the draft this season, that is going to be happening in a few days.
Really good job. That was a really good little teaser there.
Oh, thanks, man. You know, some say I'm a professional.
Speaking of teasing, I don't actually have a segue, but we were talking before we started recording that some Survivor players this year are starting to listen to Making a Merge.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're listening to this and you could do us a solid and just like share it with everybody that you know, that'd be great. And that goes for Survivor players or non-Survivor players. If you like the show, share it.
Well, for the Survivor players, don't share it with everyone you know. Share it with one person you know, Jeff Probst.
That's right. Yeah.
No, don't show Jeff this show. I'd be embarrassed.
Jeff.
You know how much I talk about Jeff being the love of my life?
Yeah,
I want him to know that.
Yeah, he needs to know.
I'd be embarrassed, man.
Dude,
it's like
he's
you guys,
coming over.
I don't know. Some of you were homeschooled, but it's like in middle school when like you had a crush on a girl and everyone knew you had a crush on that girl, and that girl knew you had a crush on her. Everybody was talking about it, and then you run into her in the hallway and you're like, "Hey." And she's like, I know what this is. It's like that, but with me and Jeff Probst, the Survivor Zaddy, dude.
Dude, he's great. He's great. This was a great episode, though. I'm excited to dive into it.
Yep. You guys want to do that?
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right. We're going to start off the episode with something that it doesn't happen very often. It's pretty rare. And I'm talking about nighttime in Fiji.
God
Sorry, I had to start like that.
God, dude.
That's crazy.
So Sai and Mary.
Say. I'm begging you. Say.
A lot of people got onto us for calling her Sai, including Mary herself.
Yeah.
Let's say.
I'm begging you.
Okay. So Sai and Mary. all right, I'll do it. Say asks Mary why she voted for her. Mary was like, Steph is throwing out your name all day. Say says, I have no hard feelings about last night. Mary says, I don't know about that. And then Say says, you lied to me. And Mary's like, well, you lied to me. And guys, this brings us to a brand new segment here on Making the Merge. The Mother Mary quote of the week.
Yeah.
Mother Mary. Exciting.
Mary said, I got, but I didn't get as Steph did.
Man, PD, I also wrote that quote down. I felt
great quote.
great about that one.
Guys, Mother Mary, man. I'm a Mother Mary missionary. I'm a Mother Mary martyr. I'm a Mother Mary magic man. You know?
I guess this should just be Making the Mother Mary show or whatever this podcast is now. We all love Mary. This was a very stressful episode.
It was.
For us.
I was stressed from the very beginning of this episode for her.
Everyone in our in the live Patreon chat while we were watching the episode, when it got to tribal, it was like everyone was cheering when Mary didn't go home.
And you too can cheer when Mary doesn't go home next week if you give us $5 a month.
There you go.
Right.
Now, really quick, I was encouraged to see them talking, obviously, because maybe there's something that they can
work through it.
I think they could work through it, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But Mary's just unable to let things go, like stuff that says. Mary, some people that are maybe a little bit more passive would just be like, all right, like for instance, when she says no hard feelings, most people would be like, okay, Mary is incapable. Mary is incapable.
Well, it's because Mary was seeing through.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I
See,
know.
my thought is when I'm watching it the whole time, I'm just becoming more and more of a Mary fan.
Yeah,
because Say is saying stuff, and I'm looking at Say's face, and I'm like, she's lying, and she's still angry. And I was like, Mary is just cutting right through it, and she's not believing any of it.
But my thing is like, if you're Mary and you know that you are probably next on the chopping block, if I were her, I'm a coward, and I would just try to like.
politic
I
it a
would,
little bit.
yes, absolutely. Mary isn't that person, and that's one of the reasons why I love Mary.
So you're not going to say, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. That is actually hilarious that she was like, hey, it's all good. I don't know about it. Yeah. When you're the one at the bottom.
Yeah. But Say said it was water under the bridge, and then Mary was spot on with the I don't know about that. Because right before the theme song, Say says that Mary's head's on the chopping block.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. Is that like we're acting like, oh, Mary didn't make the right decision. Say that. I think she did.
Oh no! Don't hear what I'm not saying.
Don't
that
hear
she
what
made the
you're
wrong.
saying. Is that
Don't
what you're
hear what I'm not saying, Jonathan. What I'm not saying is that she clearly it works. Clearly it works.
Maybe I'm just too defensive on Mary's behalf.
Yeah,
we all
listen,
are,
man.
dude. We all are.
love
I'm sorry.
her.
I got really, really intense yesterday watching that episode. So
Hey, I did too, and I just want to say whatever said in the chat is not reflective of how I feel. Okay, let's move on. It's the heat of the moment in the chat. Okay, so things are about to get weird. After the theme song, the next scene is about Charity's feet.
Yeah.
She's got a weird left foot, and the tribe's freaking out about it. But she's quickly one-upped by David, who reveals that he had 4 nipples, but now 2 of them are removed.
Yeah, and he was like, maybe that's why I love milk so much. I want to milk myself.
Oh, yeah.
Did anybody else find her foot not to be weird though?
It was just like they were all her toes were different size.
I wasn't sure what they were talking about.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
They
yeah.
kept showing her foot, and I was like, "That's a foot."
Yeah.
maybe that's
But everybody else was like, "Look
man.
at that foot!" Whoa.
Maybe you're just not a foot guy.
Now I know that that's what a weird foot looks like.
But David said there's no shame. We're busting out body parts. We're family.
yeah.
He's the Vin Diesel of Survivor 40.
We're family.
But Chrissy has a deep belly button, and Kyle's got a wart. So that closes out the everybody on that tribe is a weird thing. But
Can I say something about that like segment of the show, that section of the show? It made Charity super likable for me, actually.
Yeah.
I thought that she was going to be kind of more of like a Say archetype. She's actually very like pleasant with all of her tribe mates. She like gets along with everybody.
I wrote in my notes right then, as it happened, I wrote, surprisingly sweet.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
yeah, well, it was hilarious when she was like, "Hey, Mitch, what is your trait? What's your humble trait?"
Dude, yeah, Mitch is a legend for his response, dude.
Yeah, dude, Mitch is so funny. What a charismatic guy.
Yeah.
I worry about Mitch because of how like these first 2 episodes
Have been Mitch heavy.
Mitch heavy.
Yeah.
And all in a really, really great light.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I dare somebody to find something about Mitch that isn't amazing. Like, and this episode, there's a lot of really great Mitch moments.
Yeah.
And that worries me as somebody who has seen this show before. Like, but who's going to be the first one to throw out? We should vote Mitch out. Who's going to do that?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the
that guy?
monster?
I think David.
I think it's David.
The chocolate milk Captain America himself. I'll say this about Mitch, because I think we're all in the draft mood, because that's happening very soon after this episode. Mitch, I couldn't figure out where I wanted him in my order.
It's a tough one.
Do I want to take Mitch or do I not? Because you make a good point. Very Mitch heavy. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I don't know. But
This was a point of contention last night with me and Kristen as we were picking our list of who we would dream. Mitch was one where we just went back and forth for so long because we like him so much, but that's dangerous in a pick.
Mm-hmm.
And he acknowledged us on Instagram. He posted us on the story, and then all of his friends got in our comments, and they were hyping up Mitch. It was great.
See, that's how you do it. That's how you do it at Survivor. That's how you promote a Survivor podcast. Thanks, Mitch.
Well, I think Mitch was promoting himself through our podcast.
Sure. However you see it, I don't care.
Anytime somebody starts sending people over, we should just leave one comment on the post saying, "Come on in, guys." That's what.
Come on in, guys.
Yeah. Well, what was the comment Mitch left? He said, "We in here and we out here."
Yeah, that was it.
Dude, I love Mitch, man. All right, keep going, PD.
All right, let's go to the Purple Beach. They're just having a great time, and they're the best, and they're talking about how awesome they are. And it's all great until Thomas says, "I can't believe we have to sit someone out next time." Eva hears that and says, "Well, you shouldn't sit one of us three," referring to her, Shaheen, and Joe. "We have physical strength. Maybe we sit Star." And Star does not take too kindly.
And who was it that was like, "Star, are you okay?" I don't remember who it was that asked Star. And Star's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then Star, next thing you know, Star's no longer there. Star's running into the woods. So clearly Star not okay.
Star update. Star not okay.
Star not okay.
Yeah, second episode in a row that Star runs into the woods. But this time it goes better because she finds the Beware advantage pretty quick into her journey.
I do want to briefly go back, though, to this part with even kind of saying that in a group setting. I feel like might be one of those moments where socially you're like, maybe that's not the best decision for you, because it came across, even though she didn't mean it that way, it came across like, I'm going to, in a group, call you out for not being good at challenges.
Yes.
Or at least it read that way. So that was like kind of concerning, because I thought that might be really not good for a dynamic on a tribe with Eva. But then Star, I felt, took it decently, and then, like you said, just ran into the woods afterwards on her
own. So maybe he didn't take it that decently.
Well, took it decently, like contained it. Like she held it very well, and then ran into the woods for a moment.
Love that. Only on Survivor, when things go wrong, can you just like haul ass into the woods?
And then it might turn around everything for you.
Yeah.
That'd be all you need. That'd be all you need. But yes, does find the Beware advantage, which is exciting, and just like last week, immediately brings people into it.
Yeah, Star has a guide. She's got to match up the animals in the correct order. Her animals weren't colorful like everybody else's. She decides that she's going to get Joe in on it.
Everybody trusts Joe.
Yeah,
everyone likes him.
And Joe was talking about that after the scene where he's like, look, the problem is, like, I'm everyone's number one. Yeah. So Joe's going to have to make some decisions soon. But Joe, he's like, I got to get Shaheen in on this as soon as Star tells him. And then it gets really crazy from there. Shaheen goes to work. He's trying to match everything up, but he's struggling with it. It gets even crazier when Star tells Bianca and Thomas about the Beware advantage.
Right. Yeah. So now 5 of the 6 tribe members know about this advantage.
Yeah, that's a disaster, because it just opens up everybody to try to take advantage of her, which is what happened.
Which is what Shaheen and Joe immediately talk about, like, how do we handle this? Because we could go and honestly help her, and she could get the advantage, get an idol. Or, we can act like we're helping her, but not. And then Thomas comes in and says, what if we lose the key? Thomas!
Dude, that was my favorite moment of the episode.
Thomas is a psychopath.
Because that was crazy. Because he made a good point. He's like, if we lose this key, she doesn't have a vote tonight. Yeah. She doesn't have any way of getting that immunity idol. Yeah. And we now can use the key to try to figure out the immunity idol. But I thought that was genius.
Yeah, it's so evil.
It is evil. But he said it in such a likable way, though. He was like, I mean, we could lose the key.
What if we lose the key? It cuts to Shaheen's confessional, and Shaheen's like, "Can me with this guy right now?"
Yeah. It's like, well, I can't do that.
I can't do that.
I'm not a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thomas is like that low key kind of has this vengeance, like, kind of attitude where I could
Batman.
Well, not like that way, but I'm saying where if all of a sudden someone wrongs him, I could see him being a grudge holder and being like very under the radar, making plans, doing things to twist things around, just because he feels like he has that ability.
Yeah. What would you have done, Jonathan? Would you have done the Thomas thing?
Nah. I probably would have coasted it out. I don't know.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I think I would have.
You think
Whoa.
so?
Dang.
I mean, if you're going to tribal,
Yeah.
and there's 6 people on that tribe, and you're aligned with pretty much everyone but Star,
Yeah.
and you have a way to guarantee that you are not the first one from your tribe to go home, you might.
You know what? I would have appreciated maybe less of the "Hey, what's your weird body part" conversation, and more of like, why does everybody hate Star? Like, I know, like, I like Star. Maybe I'm showing my
like
hand
Star
a little
too.
bit
No, I
too
do
much
too.
as the one who's running the Star Updates Twitter account, but. I like Star, and everybody's like, "We've got to kill her."
Well, okay.
People got locked into their own pairs.
Yeah,
Just-
really quick.
My thoughts on Star are Star seems really cool.
Yeah.
However, Star seems like she's going to have a hard time keeping gameplay to herself, and it might get a little messy.
I mean, what
my
I
concern.
think it is I think she might just be like a little bit of like an introverted person in general, and then she thought, okay, my way of connecting with everybody is like showing them I have something of
Yeah,
worth.
totally.
I have this beware advantage.
I was just hopeful that one of Shaheem or
Yeah.
Thomas or somebody would have been like, okay, maybe we should help her, and then we could team up and do something. Like, but no, everybody was like, over our dead bodies, freaking hate her.
Yeah, it was kind of extreme.
Well, at least Shaheem was like, do I help her or do I hate her? Or
Yeah.
do I help her? Or he went back and forth with it. But Thomas, man, the big bad wolf. That's
Yeah.
what I call Thomas now.
Hey, there's someone on that tribe that I just forget exists, and that is the other lady on the tribe, Bianca.
yeah.
Did she do?
Well, she was in
anything?
the next scene, Chase.
Oh, well, then you keep going, and I'll remember.
I'm just kidding. I made that up.
Oh.
She wasn't in that.
don't make me look bad, man. She didn't do anything this episode.
Notice Brandon and I
Yeah.
also didn't say, wait, no, she wasn't. We really believed you.
There is a Bianca scene in this.
Oh, is it? Let me see.
episode. I feel like.
Name a
Yeah, well,
Bianca scene.
there had just been one with Star going up to Bianca and Thomas and being
Yeah.
like,
But that was a Thomas scene.
That's a Thomas.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So Star, I think Star was just trying to dangle the idol in front, or the beware in front of everybody, and be like, "Help me!" and we have power in the game,
Yeah.
and surely all of you won't tell each other. So let's go to the Green Beach, where it has nothing to do with Bianca. I just wanted to make Chase look dumb for a second.
That's his whole thing this season, apparently. I've listened to the episodes I wasn't on.
On the Green Beach, Kevin explains that they should just vote Say because she has an idol, and if she plays it, vote Mary, and then Say doesn't have an idol. So either way, it works great. And to finish it off, he said the math is mathing.
The math is mathing.
That was it for Green. We go back to Purple, where Bianca's not in the scene again. Shaheen is going to work not on the idol, but carving Wi-Fi on the tree.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
Outlets as well. Put
Yeah.
a nice outlet there for people to use.
Propsty 5G.
Yeah.
Dig 48 is the password.
Yeah, Dig 48.
And he was like,
yeah.
you gotta dig.
Yep.
It was the worst Jeff impression ever.
You gotta dig.
That definitely reminded me of Shane Powers with the BlackBerry.
Yeah.
Jonathan doesn't know what we're talking
I
about.
don't. I missed that
Fake
one.
fan, fake fan.
Okay, guys, so we hear a boat coming.
Let's get to the boat.
We hear a boat coming, and it's journey time. We all had to put a finger out, and the lowest unique number was the winner. So we had Mary, Mitch, and Thomas going on that journey, and Say is not happy at all that Mary won that little competition.
Yes, because she won the practice round.
Yeah. Well, I just
she tried to pull, dude.
But see, this is okay. I'm gonna say it. I'm not a huge Say fan at all. Just from this stuff, because they all agree right there. We're gonna practice real quick. This is a practice. She wins and is immediately like, "All right, I'm getting on the boat, guys," and they're all like, "No, you're not. That was the practice." And she is like angry about it.
Yeah.
Not only that, but then Mary wins the real one, which could not have been better television,
Yeah.
for right then. But Say's attitude through this whole thing is she holds grudges so hard that it's going to be bad.
Bran, do you remember what Say did after she waved to Mary?
No.
She smells her own
Yeah.
armpit.
I missed
Smelled
that.
it, yeah. She smelled it and it cut the
Sometimes you wave and you're like, oh,
She was just like-
there's a smell there. That's funny.
I have a new segment for us real quick.
What is that?
It's called Let's Play the Game That They Played to Decide Who Goes on the challenge.
Okay.
So on the count of
boy.
3, we're all going to throw out a number.
Yes, and the
on our
lowest
hands.
unique number wins.
And this isn't a video podcast, so you're just going to have to take our
Yeah,
word for
all
what we
right.
do.
Yeah, and I'm working with latency, so that's either putting me at an advantage or a disadvantage.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
We all did
PD are
two.
out. Oh,
It's your boy,
Oh,
Mike.
Nice.
That's how it's done right there.
Wait, did
That was
me
just the
and
practice
Chase
round.
and PD all pick 2?
Yes.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's how you do it in Survivor.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. I'm
Brandon,
making the Merge podcast.
did you have a theory that 3 was going to work for that reason? Did you think 2 was basic? or
Guys, I didn't
something?
want to go on a journey, and I just threw out 3.
little,
Hoping that it wouldn't work.
I think, and this could be wrong, PD, maybe you noticed because you take notes. I think everyone who won and went on the journey threw up a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a meta strat.
I think 2 is the go-to. 2's the go-to. For some reason, like mentally, you're like, well, 2's not the lowest number, so I'll go
Yeah.
with 2.
I even
And-
told myself don't pick 2, and then I threw
you
it
still
out.
did it.
Yeah.
I think I was just trying to play rock, paper, scissors. So I threw out scissors.
Maybe that's something that gets in your head.
Paper.
Yeah. That's a 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after the armpit sniff, the journey is that they have to have all these numbers line up in order. So like, what was it, 1 through 15?
Yes, there's 3 rows of numbers, 1 through 15, and they're all scattered about the numbers. And you can move all the blocks to the left, and the number that is furthest to the left will fall out, and then you got to put it back in the back, and you're trying to get all the numbers 1 through 15 in order. And I couldn't figure it out in my mind how it would work. And so that's why, once again, I see myself when I see Mary. Mary can't figure it out. I'm like, yes, Mary. And I don't know how Thomas fit, because Thomas was just moving the final row over and over and over again, which in theory shouldn't work. And then at some point it did.
Yeah, that's the Thomas made a really good point, because at first I was like, oh, I think I could do this. This looks fun. But then he got the first 2 rows done, and then he was just stuck with the third one. And I was like, oh God, I don't know how I would even begin to figure that out.
Yeah.
Guys, not to brag, but I did win a similar challenge on Meta Survivor.
Whoa.
Wow.
But
We
instead
gotta
of numbers,
play
it was
that.
just blocks.
We gotta
I was
play that.
hyped up, dude. I was screaming after I won a puzzle.
We gotta play that and put it up on the channel or something. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
I don't know how well this game worked on TV, but it's a really clever idea.
They did the CGI numbers above them.
They definitely tried. They tried all the possible ways to make it easy to understand what's happening for people at home, and I still was just like, how did they do it? I would like to know how they did it.
Mitch and Thomas crushed it. Mary did not, unfortunately.
And so we were all very nervous because you have a decision to make when you're Mary and you know that you're on the chopping block.
Yep.
How am I going to go back to this tribe and maybe convince them that I'm not a threat? Or she could just lie and say that she does have an idol. She could do a lot of different things. The worst of which I would believe to be tell them the truth about how she lost her vote. You can say you didn't win and nothing happened. Full truth, I don't have my vote at the next tribal, which is a really bold move for Mary.
Yeah. What do you think well, I was about to say, I think we know the reasoning because of something that Mary posts on her Instagram
Mary
story.
literally told us exactly why she did it. We can get to that later.
But since it's brought up right now, Brad, why do you think that she did that? Why didn't she pretend like she...
I can't think of a good reason.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it later then.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Say's reaction, because Say says, you don't look too bummed about it, so that's good. Subtle shade at Mary. That's the only subtle thing Say's done this entire season.
I didn't think it was subtle at all.
I didn't either. It barely counts.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't. But it was at least it was a backhanded compliment.
Instead of just an insult.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thomas tells his team he didn't even compete. What do you think about that strategy,
I
Bran?
think that was smart.
I think that's That's if I was married, that's what I would have done.
Me too.
I would have gone in and I would have been like, I know that I'm already kind of in a weird spot, and let's be honest, I can't afford to lose a vote. I can't afford to not finish this, and so I just chose not to.
I think that would rub people the wrong way.
You think so?
That you didn't even try because you're on Survivor. You gotta try.
That's how you do it.
If I was married, I just would have won the challenge.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Mary just should have done that.
If we're doing hypotheticals, I would
here's my question to you guys about this: has there ever been somebody who came back from one of these challenges and was just like, "Hey guys, I'm in a weird position, so I'm not going to tell y'all anything. I'm not going to tell you whether I won."
That's a good idea.
That's
dude.
my thought. Is like if you look at somebody and you're like, "I'm in a weird position. I'm not going to tell you if I won. I'm not going to tell you if I lost." And you just let it kind of be chaos.
Crazy thing happened. Actually, the boat got lost. They were like, "Well, I guess we'll just bring it back to the beach."
Well, I've always just wondered why people just give up like so much information. I mean, I get it if you're in a good position, but like it's
So what happened on the challenge? Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't really want to tell you.
Jonathan, I mean this with all my heart. Jonathan, please apply for Survivor. Please go on Survivor.
We need to do on one of our Sanctuary episodes. By the way, guys, if you didn't know, we do a second episode every week now called the Sanctuary. We talk about what's going on online with Survivor and the subreddit and in our comment section and everything. But for one of the Sanctuary episodes, we need to just break down who we think out of the four of us would do the best on Survivor. Because I really think it would be Jonathan, and that's surprising.
Jonathan's already got the buff on his head.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. I also think I would do the best on Survivor.
Yeah, because you would tell them you were 30.
Yeah,
you would lie about your age.
Wait, but that is my age. I am 30 years
older
old.
than you are.
No, I'm actually 30.
I would pay good money to see Jonathan come back from a challenge and just be like, "Guys, I don't want to tell you what I want to tell you."
So in my head, Jonathan's 32. I don't know why.
32. Dang, he's added 2 years. No, guys, I think I would do okay on Survivor. We could save it for the Sanctuary.
So we talked about the strategies. Mary's strategy, which was lie about it. Thomas's strategy, which was lie about it in a different way.
Yeah.
And then Mitch is like, "Hey, everybody, I won us." Advantage.
Crazy. That's so good.
People didn't respond to this in the correct way. When someone says, "I won us an advantage," what I hear is, "Oh my gosh,
We did it.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. Maybe we get a reward. Maybe we're bringing chicken." And then he goes, "I have an advantage." Like it was. I
get to steal one of your votes.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's for us.
Who do you think us is?
But he framed it in such a way that they were all so excited.
Yeah, they're psyched for him.
And how do you backtrack on that?
And
you
don't.
said it was. What about us?
Yeah, and then Charity was happy for him to the point of tears.
Yeah.
In the next scene.
Oh wow, yeah, it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
So,
See, that's what I mean. Charity is surprisingly sweet, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is weird foot and all. You know?
Yeah. If you leave the foot out of it, she is surprisingly sweet.
Yeah, Charity was really nice to Mitch. She was so happy for him. But the other four were like, "Guys, Mitch has an advantage. We got to go get one. Because we can't let Mitch have an advantage. We got to be able to counter this super nice guy."
Contrary to belief, it's not for us.
Yeah.
It's for him.
They were not on board with the communal advantage.
Well, maybe what Mitch meant by that was whoever decides to be in an alliance with me,
That's right.
it's for us.
Yeah.
So
It's
could
us.
have been that.
Could have.
You
What
know.
was his? He gets to take a vote away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
block
steal
a
a
vote.
Yeah.
Or
It would have been really funny if he was like,
steal or
"Guys,
block?"
whose vote should we block? Dang it. Oh god.
Just redo it.
no,
Redo it.
keep it in.
I was just letting you know
No,
I do have
keep it-
editing power, but
Keep
okay.
it in.
It's just nighttime all over again.
Yeah. I did not offer to edit out the nighttime thing.
Some things are too good.
So the other four hate Mitch. Mitch is the worst. They're trying to find an advantage. And Kyle finds it. Him and David are pumped, and they're screaming, which is probably not the best thing to do after you find a secret advantage. But it's animal time now. So Kyle does the thing that everybody else has done. He's like, "I suck at puzzles. Let me go get Camilla."
Everybody so far this season has decided I'm going to bring people in, which is, I don't know. It's interesting.
I think it speaks to I think Survivor did a pretty good job of like making it a very difficult cipher
Yes.
to
Yeah.
figure it. A cryptogram.
But I do think everybody panics when they see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think if you just take your time,
Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah.
Just to take your time, think it through.
I think it's also a fear of like taking your time and someone sees.
Sure.
You.
I feel like that this like cryptogram, the puzzles, they've just been very interesting this season. Like the fact that when you line up the dolphin or you line up the octopus or whatever, that there was like a hole that kind of showed a letter silhouette. I was like, that is one of the coolest puzzles they've done in a while.
Because I didn't
or, like,
see any
clues.
of the letters.
Me either.
I was just missing it all together.
Well, they were like the silhouettes of like the animal behind it showing through that hole. It was just so interesting how they did that.
But do you think it was a little unfair that Camilla got by far the easiest one?
I don't know.
Nah.
I mean,
Because the numbers were already there.
yeah.
yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like, you know, she isn't aware that the other tribes are doing different ones. You know,
It's not her fault. It's Jeff's fault.
Yeah.
Hey,
Whoa,
Nothing
whoa,
is
whoa.
Jeff's
I
fault.
agreed
My
with
bad.
you before I realized what you said.
speaking of Jeff, Camilla's cipher. Well, it's not even hers, but the one that she solves. It spells out enlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is Jeff trying to get us to join the Vietnam War?
That's
Well,
right,
it's not the Vietnam War. It's the war that took place on that island with the tribe. You remember, guys?
It did look like
Yeah.
there could have been a war
The
there.
domes and stuff. They made it to where Igadeza has nighttime, even though they're shooting in Fiji. You know?
Whatever, dude.
That's-
I'm gonna use my steal a blow.
Okay, Chase, it's challenge time.
wow.
All right. This was another really fun immunity challenge. It wasn't as complex as last week where it was just like 8 challenges all in one. But this one, it was a water-based obstacle course. They had to work together. 2 contestants had to work together. They had 2 poles, and they had to like hold a ball in between the 2 poles while balancing across a balance beam. It looked extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And it was if your name was Cedric and you're from Greenville.
Cedric.
Oh my gosh! So the rest of the challenge, once you got over the balance beam, then you had to jump and swim through the ocean, and then you had to shoot balls into a floating basket. Some really sick moments in this. The at the bottom of the list is Cedric not being able to make it across the balance beam. It's Cedric
Was
and
that
Kevin.
sick? I hated it. I was upset.
Yeah, it was hard to watch.
in
The
other way.
opposite of sick.
Yeah, it was great.
It literally made me sick.
Yeah. We're watching it. Kristen and I are watching it, and we're like, this is possibly one of the more embarrassing challenge performances I've seen in a while.
Since
Like-
Rome with the puzzle.
Oh,
But
dude, yeah,
here's the
that
thing.
one was real bad.
But here's the thing: in Cedric's defense, that looks hard.
Yeah,
It does look hard. It
That
does look hard.
looked really, really hard.
that's not how you do it in Survivor, though.
I would like to apologize to Cedric and the city I live in because at one point in the chat I did disown Cedric and the entire city of Greenville. And I would just like to say that it's similar to like me watching the Steelers and being like, I hope they kill that quarterback. I don't mean it. I really don't mean it.
Yeah.
At one point, I threatened to move out of Greenville and live wherever Mary's from.
I had a really tough time with Cedric this week. It's a real roller coaster.
I think jumping ahead just a little bit because it pertains to Cedric. Cedric has a moment in like a confessional after the challenge where he's like, "Hey, this is like embarrassing, and this is on TV for the world to see."
Yes.
But you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
That's what Survivor is about. Like you're
Yes.
gonna mess
Yeah, he
up. You're
took
gonna
it
look
well.
bad.
This is what I'm talking about with the roller coaster because Cedric, I've never been more mad at someone during a challenge than Cedric.
Yeah.
And this isn't the first time. I was mad at him last week too when he couldn't get up the wall.
And the week before that.
And this is only the second week, which is great. And so, really great moments with Eva making some
Yes.
shots. I think she
Yeah.
made 3 in a row.
When she got to the part where she was throwing the balls, you had to get it into the net.
Yes.
She sunk 3 in a row,
which
it
was incredible.
Crazy.
And then our boy Mitch going granny shots. And did you notice people started switching to the granny?
Yeah.
When they started seeing Mitch, they're like, "Oh, let's do it. Let's go."
That's Granny Mitch. That's my boy on the
That's my
court.
Granny Mitch.
There was an intensity in Eva's eyes and like a competitive anger that I saw in her. Where I
When
was
Mitch
like,
went ahead a little
oh,
bit?
dude, yeah. I was like, whoa, that's the
Yeah.
hockey captain coming out
Mitch
right now.
tied her score and she just had hatred on her
Yeah,
face.
it was like
You know what?
pure fury.
And I think it was Thomas, who was like, "Hey, do you want to switch?" And she was like, "No."
I wish we could have gotten to see. I would have loved to see the conversation when they told Star she was the one sitting down.
Yes. Okay, so Star is a professional basketball player.
Yeah,
and
dude.
the challenge ends with basketball.
That's what I don't. Can I just go back real quick? I don't like. We're acting like Star isn't athletic, and I don't understand it.
And then what's crazy though is Eva backs it up by sinking 3 in a row.
Yeah.
So you can't even be like,
Watch and
Star
learn.
should have been in the challenge.
Well, I
Now,
still think
also,
Star should have been in.
can we talk about Chocolate Milk Captain America's absolutely stellar challenge performance though, and the speed at which he was moving underwater. I mean, the whole time I was like, "Oh, Kristen, this is crazy! Like, this man is going to be too much of a threat." I think on challenges.
Which leads us to our Jeff quote of the week from me, Chase.
Oh, let's go.
At one point, Stuntman does a little roll on the rope, and Jeff goes, "He did a Stuntman move."
Wait, what else did Jeff say? He said when Joe threw the buoy, he's like, "That's like Tom Brady of Survivor, 55 yards."
That man really did throw that buoy.
He chucked it, and then everybody else tried to do it. They couldn't get that same distance.
Yeah.
It was what was great about it. It was as like in that moment, Jeff was just a fan of Captain America over there. He's like, "I just did the stunt."
He did a stuntman
move.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
But shout out to Mitch because Mitch got the "That's how you do it" for this week.
Yes, he did. And I saved this for the end of my challenge segment. But at the beginning, once again, Jeff calls out Mitch to talk for his tribe.
That's right.
This is the second time in 2 weeks. And Mitch, as always, super charismatic. But this time, he was really struggling with one of the sentences with his stutter. And everybody very patient. And then Jeff goes, "Mitch, I have a question. Would you like help when something like that happens, or should we just wait and let you finish?" And Mitch was like, "Hey, give me a chance. Let me try to finish." And then he talks about how it's a struggle sometimes because most people just want to help finish the sentence. And I thought that was a cool moment, but I did think it was weird that Jeff keeps making Mitch talk and then being like, "Let's talk about the stutter."
I actually really appreciated though just how Jeff approached that whole like portion of the speech, because it would have been very easy for him to kind of like play into it way more in like the reality television vein where it's like, "You seem like you're having a tough time, Mitch," and just like really leaned into kind of just getting something out. But instead, I feel like he took it and in classic Probst fashion, just used it in a very positive way to bring awareness of like, what is the best way to approach this situation, Mitch? What do you prefer with this? And it was just a very sweet, endearing moment, I thought.
It was.
I love Mitch.
Me too.
I just the only thing that I get from him is confidence.
Yeah.
Whenever he's speaking, even when he was struggling with that sentence, the whole time, he didn't look like he was panicking at all.
Nope.
Just pure confidence coming from Mitch.
I am curious too, and I would love to maybe one day if we could get Mitch on the show, because one thing that I'm curious about is I've heard that like when you have a stutter, oftentimes it can get worse. Like the more tired, the more stressed, the more like
I heard
not
that
in a
from
great
Jonathan,
situation.
actually.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've got a friend of mine that he grew up and he had a stutter most of his life and into his teenage years, and it was kind of like when there was a lot of pressure on situations where maybe it's like more bandwidth mentally is having to be used for the conversation, or when you get really, really emotional. It was like the stutter would get like leveled up in those moments.
So my question is, do you think Mitch might, as he's not eating much, he's in this game, it gets more stressful. Do you think it might get worse throughout the season?
Maybe moments of it. He seems like this is kind of what Kristen and I talked about. He seems as if he has put so much work and effort into it. You can tell that when he is speaking, he's thinking about every word that he is saying. You could just tell he's executing his sentences with purpose.
Yeah.
And so maybe with some of the fatigue, I could see that like getting a little hard. But it seems like he's put a lot of work in probably for a really long time.
And that moment that he had with Charity, where he had that joke, and it was so quick.
Yeah,
so quick, dude.
Yeah, he seems
so
comfortable.
Yeah, he's doing really good. I love Mitch, and I hate the Green Tribe because they keep losing.
Yeah,
and I want to highlight something Mary posted on Instagram. Mary said, "Okay, so there's this thing called losing challenges, and me and my girls, well, we've gone pro." Guys, if you thought that was great, let me read the caption. I love being on vulva.
Dang, dude. Isn't she the
Mary.
best?
Yeah,
Mary's the best.
Crap, man. She's so fun.
Yeah, so they go back to the beach, and Cedrik, kind of lies out on his sword a bit and is like, I get, like, if I'm at this point a liability, I get it, basically. And everybody's crying. And I was like, you know what? There he is. He's back. Cedric's back, baby.
Yeah.
I can't stay mad at this
There's
guy.
that Greenville spirit,
That's exactly
That's
right.
when I started to sober up from the things I was saying in the chat. Where I was like, okay, he's just a nice guy.
Yes. And so then Kevin, Pizza, and Cedric are talking. and a plan has been hatched. Now is our time to strike on Say, because she won't see it coming.
And Kevin's leading the charge.
Kevin is leading the charge on that. Pizza's down the clown, though. And so Cedric, in this moment, decides my allegiance to Say is too strong. And I have to tell her, and we have to go ahead and vote Mary out.
And then I hated Cedric again.
I hated him so much.
I was furious not only about the Mary target, I was furious about his allegiance to Say, because I was like, why her? Because I don't feel like at least not on camera, it feels like there haven't been moments where his loyalty should be that strong to her.
It was just let's lock in 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think what's interesting about Say, and I'm really intrigued going in the next episode, I find myself actually quite liking Say.
What?
Yes.
And there are moments where I'm like, very, very interesting. Very interesting competitor. These moments, this is another moment in this episode where I want to say it's during the challenge, she's yelling loudly and she realizes it and she goes, I'm sorry. It's like these moments where she finds herself, it's getting away from her a little bit, and she notices it and she kind of pulls back and she's like, I'm sorry. She's like a very interesting person that I feel like we've kind of cornered her and been like, she's the bad guy. And so I'm interested to see going in the next episode.
Bran,
Go ahead.
much like your shirt, that's goofy. I just can't do that. That's like
That's fine.
That's
fine. But I'm just going to say this, Jonathan. I think that there is a chance that by the end of however long she's on the show, that she will end up being a fan favorite.
Nah.
I felt a lot like Jonathan did after the episode where I was like, man,
You
really hope
texted
she
and
was home.
agreed with me last night.
Yeah, I know.
Chase.
But
It's been less than
spent some
24 hours.
time, and I thought about it, and this sums up my feelings about Say. Everybody loves a Survivor villain until a Survivor villain shows up.
Ooh.
And then now it's like, oh, we got to get her out.
Yeah.
No. Dude, we haven't seen a villain like this in a few seasons.
That's
She's,
fair.
I mean, Rome.
Yeah, Rome is
He's
number
the
one.
epitome. He's like, he was a villain in the way of like, get him out of here right now.
Yeah.
I want Say to make it a long time.
Yeah. So and part of it was when I started to realize she's like, okay, I'm going to put my feelings for Mary aside and go after Kevin, because Kevin is clearly come to play this game, is trying to come after me, and she orchestrated this whole thing to go after Kevin. Cedric wasn't going to go along with it. He was like, I think that we should keep Kevin along and we should just go ahead and vote out Mary, and Say wasn't having it.
No.
Yeah.
Which shows that it's not personal between her and Mary.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah, maybe so.
and I think the thing
Maybe I'm changing.
Yes. And clearly,
I'm not.
guys, I'm going to put it on the record right now. I think that next episode, we are going to get a conversation between Mary and Say where they actually decide to form an
No,
alliance.
I think you're dead wrong.
And Mary runs away.
I have to talk about the end credit scene, but I think the end credrit thing definitely discredits everything you just said, Bran.
Say's
totally.
going to try, and Mary's going to be like, no. Mary.
Here's where I'll land with Say right now. I think that she is like way too hard on her sleeve, but with her anger. You know, like when she's mad and like writes you off. And that probably comes, I mean, she even mentioned it in her pregame like interview stuff. She was like, I was raised like with very strong women. I've had to like constantly defend myself and like all of this stuff. That probably leans into why she's playing the game that she's playing so aggressively. I just don't think that it's going to work for her the way that she thinks it's going to work for her, because her honesty, as she puts it, is actually just coming across as like being rude. You know,
well, if it was anybody but Mary that she was going after, we would not care.
That is exactly what I'm getting at, Jonathan.
No, I don't think so.
Your feelings towards her are heavily influenced by our love of Mary.
Sorry for loving Mary too much, Brandon.
No, trust me, I get it. I think that something's gonna happen. There's gonna be a turn.
Ever since she dropped the song on Spotify, Brandon, I thought we had an understanding.
You talking about Baby Teeth?
Yeah, I thought we had an understanding that we were going to rise up against the situation, but I guess not.
Guys, listen to Shoot. It's available on Spotify by Baby Teeth. Great song.
Baby Teeth.
Yeah.
So we get to Tribal, and I felt like we had a pretty good idea going into Tribal what was going to happen, but you never know how it's totally going to play out. But it did play out according to how they talked about it. Say did end up using her idol.
Well, Pizza played a role too, didn't he?
Yeah, Pizza played a big role.
Yeah. How did Pizza play a role?
It was his idea. Right? Like he was the one who like said it.
Yeah. He actually actually pitched the idea of switching from
to Kevin.
Yeah. From Mary to Kevin, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the one who basically when Cedrik went to him.
Cedrik? Is that how you pronounce
Sorry,
it?
I don't know what happened to me. I
thought you were right. You said it with such confidence.
When Cy was talking to Cedrik,
Cy and Cedrik.
Yeah, Cy and Cedrik. When Cedric went to Pizza and it was basically talking to him, he was the one who said, Pizza was the one who said, we could go for Kevin because he's more of a threat. And then from there, they had a conversation.
Yeah, I think what happened was Say was kind of like, we should go after Kevin. Cedric, or Cedric, if you will, was like, I still think Mary is the play here.
Yeah.
And Pizza was like, no, it actually makes a lot of sense to go ahead and get Kevin out of here. So
this was how the elevation of right before Tribal went. It was, all right, let's take out Mary. Then it became, guys, this was Kevin. Guys, let's secretly take out Cy.
Right.
Then Cedric went to Say and said, they think we're secretly taking out Cy. Let's take out Mary.
Right.
And then, hey, guys, they think we're secretly taking out Mary. What if we just take out Kevin? And I think that was Pizza that came up with that last
I just love hearing Chase say Cy 2 times in one thing.
Did I?
Yeah.
Dang.
It's hard not to, because, guys, it's spelled like Cobra Kai. Cobra Sai.
Yeah. It's not our fault.
No, it's not.
Cobra
it's
Kai
not our fault.
Never die. But yes, she ends up using her idol. Everybody worked together. Blindsided Kevin. You could tell on his face.
Yeah,
he
had no
very
clue.
much not anticipating this.
Yeah. Shoulder hurt.
Do you guys think that this was a good play? Do you think it was just a blindside for the sake of blindsiding because that's what we do? What was your thoughts on
Man, I think it was a good play. I like Kevin, but again, I was thinking he felt like someone who could win, just like looking at him from a draft perspective. So them going ahead and taking him out feels like it was probably the smarter decision.
Yeah. But it goes to show I think it is, we joked about how quickly people were, finding their one and their day one and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the difference between who goes out in this game is the difference between Cedric and Pizza.
Yeah.
Cedric was like, I am not going to flip on Say. Pizza was like, let's freaking go.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
That is.
If Pizza holds his ground and says, no, Mary's the play.
Then Mary goes home.
Yes, because Say is like, okay, I guess I have to go with you guys.
Pizza is playing harder than I thought he would. I thought he was going to kind of float. He's actually playing pretty hard.
Guys, he went to Yale.
He's like an under the radar guy. Yeah,
under the radar.
Where did I
in the
pregame?
Pregame. Let's re-listen to our pregame episode that you
go
were
back
on.
and listen to it before we do the draft. Before we do the draft,
not to talk about Mary too much and just the things that we like about her, but I do love that when she went up to show that she had lost her vote, she like popped the pen open, went to fake right, and was like, "Oops," like just really played it for psych. And I was just like, Mary just keeps winning right now. Like, I can't get enough.
Yeah, I mean, during the whole scramble and even at Tribal, I was terrified. I started doing a rosary. I don't even know what that is, but I started doing it.
Yeah.
And then I took up the Mark Wahlberg 40-day challenge. I think it's called Lent.
Yeah.
I was trying to contact the OG Mother Mary to help current Mother Mary.
There you go. That's all you got to do.
Dude, man,
and
you
then
saved her, dude.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Amen, brother. And then we did get the preview of next episode, and I don't really want to know the context. Part of me wants to skip next episode.
Just Mary just sprinting into the woods.
Say and Mary are having a conversation, and out of nowhere, Mary runs away.
Just sprints into the woods.
Yeah.
And Say goes, Mary!
That's got to be deceptively edited.
Yeah,
There's no
gotta
way.
be.
Can I say something bold?
This is my theory on it.
Okay, let's hear it.
They are trying to figure something out, like they're doing a game or something, or maybe somebody found something. I don't know. And they're working together, and it clicks in Mary's mind what it is.
And she sprints to go
away.
take care of
Yes.
it. Can I say something bold real quick? Mary is my favorite Survivor player in the last 15 seasons.
Whoa.
Yeah.
By far.
I mean, on the podcast last year, there was nobody that we all universally loved except for Saul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
Saul and Mary-
especially pre-draft. Like, I think we
Yeah.
all really liked Saul, like, after we had drafted and realized, like, dang, he's such a cool guy, and he's handling this situation
Sexy,
with Rome.
stupid
Yeah,
Saul.
like, then his vest, he pulled the vest out while he was on, and we were all just like, we can't get enough. But Mary, I feel like we all quickly unified.
Yeah.
Behind
She's
the fact
awesome.
that we
The
like
moment
her.
I saw her merch store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, do you think that if we didn't do the preview episode, would we be as high on Mary as we are right now?
I think it would come in at a delay.
Yes.
slow
It would be
release.
like Saul. We're like week 4.
Yeah.
She's our favorite person ever.
Yeah.
But this season, to its credit, has, I think, a person on each tribe that is like really easy to cheer
It's a
for.
great-
with
great
Eva
cast.
and Mitch and Mary.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's a really strong.
Hey guys,
So-
you brought up merch, and I thought that would. I'm just trying to segue into a fan email we got that's talking about clothing, guys.
Does Justin have anything to do with it?
Justin is a part of this. Okay, so Claudia emailed us. She says, guys, huge fan of the pod, loving the season 48 coverage so far. I am dying to tell you guys, production actually chooses the outfits. This is in regards to
What?
Cedric
Yeah, I didn't
wearing
know this.
a
Really?
suit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So she said Kelly Wentworth, a creator on Survivor TikTok these days, she actually made a video addressing the fan questions that she would get about her wardrobe on Survivor. At least on her seasons, she said you have to submit a bunch of options to production, then they pick the clothes that you get to have on the island. It's like 2 to 3 outfit variants for challenges and tribals and stuff. She said that also they make an effort to match your wardrobe to the occupation/casting archetype. So, like on her first season, she was in Blood versus Water with her dad, so she was giving the farmer's daughter look in a lot of plaid and jean shorts. And so she said, I love having this context for the show. It gives me a whole lot of different perspective on these idiots who show up on the beach in a suit.
I'm so glad to have perspective on the idiots.
How does that explain Teeny's pants last season? There's like the weird scarecrow pants?
Yeah, wait a second. I don't know. But it
used to be
says
a
like
lot
Justin
worse.
wearing a pizza shirt. You know, it's like clearly it fits his character.
That's a little bit on the nose.
Yeah.
But it used to be a lot worse. Like those early seasons of Survivor, the early seasons, they call them the dark ages. So it's like the 20s. Like you'll just have a season where it was like themed blue collar versus white collar. And there's just like a dude in practically a welding outfit.
Yeah.
There's someone dressed as a scarecrow. Like
Well-
it's just like, and then the models, like when they were like women that were like very attractive, they were wearing like no clothing.
Well, that's
There was, in
that.
fact,
She
there was
even
one
mentions
season I
that
can't-
in
Oh,
this
okay.
email. She says like my most favorite, Angelina asking Natalie for her jacket on her way out of the game after being voted. My girl was cold and snubbed by the wardrobe team. So,
There's a very famous season where one of the female contestants didn't have any clothes, wasn't given any clothes really, and then it was like super rainy, stormy, and cold, and it was like just so miserable for her,
It's tough.
and it kind of like screwed her out of the season.
Well, in season 7 in Panama, they trick them. They're like, you don't get any of your clothes.
Yeah.
You
jump in the water.
Yeah, because they all thought that they were showing up for a photo shoot. Right. Great moment.
Shout out Sari.
Heck yeah.
So, did we talk about when Mary and Say were arguing in the tribal at all?
Oh, not really.
No.
It was just
skipped
kind of
over that.
spatty, you know?
Yeah, it
They
was
were
another little explosive tribal moment. It was the smooth player line where Mary was like, normally a smooth player wouldn't just reveal the plan for everybody.
Yeah.
And then they sort of
I think like this is part of what I don't know. I have this theory in my mind that next episode something's going to having Say keep Mary around, having these conversations where it feels like they're just missing each other a bit.
ships in the night,
Ships in the night,
ships in the day for Fiji, right, Chase? But
that's right. Yep.
Oh,
let's do MVP of the week and get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to start? Jonathan?
My MVP for the week, I think it's going to be Justin Pizza,
Yeah.
I think
switching the plans.
with switching the plan, saved Mother Mary, made it happen, made it work. They got a threat out. As much as I really like Kevin, I think it was the right decision. And he did it very under the radar. He doesn't come across as a threat right now.
Pizza.
I'm going to go with Thomas, not because Thomas had like this crazy impactful game. It was I feel like I have a way better understanding of the type of character and game that Thomas is going to play after this episode. Game 1, I was like, Thomas seems interesting, but I don't know anything about this guy.
Yeah.
There were 2 big moments in this episode where I just felt like, okay, I know Thomas now. And I'm really excited to see where Thomas goes. So for that reason, I'm giving him my MVP.
There you go.
I'll do mine. Mother Mitch is my
Mother
MVP.
Mitch.
Nice.
Mitch Mafia, whatever you want to call it.
Mitch Nation, if you will.
Mitch Nation. So
Hold on. I give out the name.
All right, that was stupid.
Yeah, we'll see if Nation Decider Chase Bridges lets Mitch have it. But Mitch, he had a great episode because he nailed those granny shots.
Yeah,
he beat Eva for Orange to come in first place in that challenge. He went on the journey. He won. I mean, he might have told everybody, and that wasn't the best move ever, but he still won the journey. And then, I mean, to cap it all off, Jeff called on him again, and he crushed it again. So, Mitch for the win.
Nice. My MVP. What's that? You guys hear that? That's a Star update.
Oh.
Star just got Chase's MVP of the episode.
Wow.
Okay. Star, she ran out into the woods.
Yep.
She got the Beware advantage. She maybe shouldn't have told the entire tribe, but you know what?
It's still unsolved, correct?
I
think it's still unsolved.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's the only one that's still unsolved.
Yeah, I agree. But that's okay. She's got it.
She's got it.
And you know what? She's still in the game.
Yeah.
And that's why she's my MVP.
There you go.
I mean, you guys want to check in?
Yeah, let's get some Star updates.
Yeah,
from
let's
the
see what's
Twitter
going on
account.
So,
Does that say autism part 2?
No way. No way.
unfortunately, Eva has still not told Star about her having autism. Autism part 2.
Ain't no way, dude.
Yeah.
Why?
That's Eva's choice. Star updates.
Yeah. I just don't understand why Star is like a require tell, like she's owed to know.
Unbelievable.
And then unlike,
two.
oh gosh, okay. All right, brace yourself, Jonathan. So from Star Updates, unlike the illiterate bitches on Vula, Star Toomey hasn't misspelt someone's name on a piece of parchment. And then it just says hashtag can read.
Hashtag can't read.
Did somebody misspell Kevin?
Yeah, it was
They spelled it 3 different
Yeah,
ways.
E-N.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was pretty rough.
Wow.
Kevon.
Star can read, guys.
Star can read.
I am just blown away by that account. I just the
great.
fact that not only do they believe that Star is owed the knowledge of autism, but it's like, hey guys, guess what? Star can probably spell Kevin. You're like,
We don't know for sure,
We
but
don't
I
know.
think
yeah, we
so.
don't
Yeah,
know.
I think Star would nail it.
Yeah, they say can read. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I would
Can
hope-
read.
But
Yeah,
reading
yeah.
and spelling are different. Are we going to get two
yes.
different updates?
Okay. What I'm sensing is that me and Chase are big Star Updates fans,
Yeah.
and then Jonathan and Bran not so much.
I was a fan when I felt like it was sincere. I'm starting to think that's.
Oh, no.
I think it's great because it's a bit.
I didn't
more of
realize
like
that you thought it was sincere at any point.
Last week I was like, that was part of the reason why the image was so offensive.
You know how there's like humor and anti-humor. I think I'm what they would call like an anti-Star News update fan, which means that like I hate it so much I love it. You know,
that's fair.
That doesn't even make any sense. Shut up, Jonathan.
All right,
look.
I'm going to make a Jonathan updates account.
Jonathan learned a phrase last week and he was like, how do I work
anti-joke? How do I get that into the episode this week?
Look, guys, I'm tired. I'm not going to be the punching bag the rest of this episode. Chase gave us enough reasons already.
Well,
and
you're not going to be, because the rest of the episode is over.
It's done.
Making the merge update. The episode is over.
Great.
We're going to be back in a couple days with our draft. It's going to be very exciting. Anything else for the people?
I'm just going to let everybody know right now, when you hear me next time, it's going to be a very different Chase.
Yeah.
I'm going to be locked in on this draft. And I'm going to be the back-to-back winner of the Survivor draft.
And the next time you see Jonathan, a.k.a. me, it's going to be me picking a winner. So, thanks, guys.
Ow, my shoulder.
You're about to hear some ads that help keep the lights on here in the old studio. Thanks for listening or don't listen. It's really up to you at this point. It's at the end of the show. I mean, you're listening to me. Hi. But here they come. I promise they're coming. Yep, here they are. Happy day.